Welcome to Queer Leadership 101, brought to you by Unlock, powered by We Create Space. My name is Neil Hudson-Basing. My pronouns are he, him. I am the Community and Events Director for We Create Space. Welcome to today's Unlock conversation. Queer leadership, my journey as an LGBTQ plus change maker. We're absolutely delighted to bring these sessions to you. We started these off as something new for 2025 because we wanted to chat to our change makers out there, change makers who are out in the world making their own unique way in the world and making positive change. Pius, I'm going to hand over to you to introduce yourself if that's okay.
Hi, once again. I hope we're all well. I'm really excited. Amidst the tech issues, I still had to make it here. My name is Pius Kennedy. I'm a human rights defender, a fans activist, a social advocate, and a social worker who is working in Uganda, one of the toughest countries any activist would love to work in because of the prejudice that is happening in our country. I'm a proposal writer, I'm a researcher, and I'm also I'm also a psychological first aider. Yeah, basically that is Pius. I've been doing this work for the past 3 to 4 years, and I'm still doing it. I'm still pushing. Yeah, thank you.
I mean, the work you're doing, Pius, is really, really incredible, right? Like as programs manager at the Africa Queer Network, leading loads of different transformative initiatives. You've worked across kind of health equity, crisis response, leadership development for LGBTQ plus individuals across Uganda. And that's just some of what you do. Um, I'd love to know, is there a moment when you first kind of defined as a leader, and how comfortable do you feel around that term leader?
Okay, thank you very much. Being a leader is something very, very, very difficult, and it's a responsibility we all do not call for, but I think it's a good given responsibility whereby you find yourself you have to lead a certain group of people. And most times when you are a leader, you're being looked at by very many people. You're more a role model for others. So it's a very, 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 it's a very antagonistic thing that we are doing, and it's also a very, very delicate job someone has to do because you're meeting people from diverse spectrums. You're meeting people with different problems, with different challenges and different lessons that they will want to learn from you. So being a leader is really, really, I normally define a leader as someone who guides others and someone who supports others, someone who stands in the gap for others, and someone who is going to set himself aside to stand for others. So yeah.
I mean, all of those things are a beautiful journey to leadership. Absolutely. I'd love to know kind of like how does someone else define? How does someone know the moment that they are a queer leader as such? Because obviously the term leader has so many different connotations, but I think typically when you think of the term leader, it says someone in a really high position or someone that manages loads of different people. And obviously, you're out there showing that that looks different, as is so many people as part of the We Create Space community. So, how would you encourage someone to maybe step into that role of a leader?
One thing I would say is that being a leader, it requires you to put yourself aside, that you're going to set aside your personal responsibilities and now become a servant. You have to accept to become a servant. You have to accept to become a volunteer, to always step in, that even at any time. Now I'll give an example of the current social and legal climate in Uganda here, whereby you're given a phone call at 2 a.m. You're deep in sleep and your phone is ringing. A leader in Uganda, you have to keep your phone on 24/7 because each and every time something is happening somewhere. Um, if time allows, I'm just going to give you a scenario of a case that happened when these people were at the border between Uganda and Kenya. They were trying to flee to get into Kenya, and then they were arrested. So these people called me, and they expected that as a leader, I have to have a solution for them. It's from my place to the border. It's around a 7-hour drive, but I had only 4 hours to get there and see that I can support them. I had to set aside my personal responsibilities. I had that day I was spending off some time with my family, and I had to leave aside my family, and I had to leave them crying and drive to the border to rescue these people because they reached out to me because I'm a leader. So whoever wants to step into the role of a leader, you have to set yourself aside. What I mean by setting yourself aside is putting aside your personal desires and interests, putting aside your personal affirmations, and then work for the people, support the community, support the people. You're going to find yourself that you no longer have that enough time for yourself, but rather most of the time you have to give it to the people. Yeah.
I mean, I think you raised a really interesting point about servitude there, right? And kind of you said about serving the people. And I think that looks so different. And what I'm picking up here is something that's quite different between kind of coming from a Western country to yourself, is that actually, I wonder how many people in other leadership roles expect to have to pick up the phone at 2 a.m. and put everything aside. And I wonder if anyone who's listening today, we've got viewers that are watching this, whether as a cultural thing, if that's something that kind of is not something that you would expect to do. So it definitely there's definitely what's coming up for me is the difference in different styles of leadership between different countries. Is that something that you pick up when speaking to other people?
Yeah, apparently, being a leader we have leadership in different spectrums, because leadership, I would refer it as a tapestry that it's woven with different colors. So a leader in the western part of the world might find his leadership role as something that maybe they have to just take on with just passion. But when you come to Uganda or to any country within Africa, you find that your leadership role is a term of service, is a term of commitment, that you have to be more committed. You have to set, I'll still refer to setting yourself aside, that you always have to set yourself aside and put the people's interests up front. That you're going to find that you're dealing with a lot as a person. Currently, I'll give an example of the Anti-Homosexuality Act that was passed in Uganda. We as leaders had to stand and lift the community. We had to stand and gather up the community to keep it intact, because this bill had split the community into different areas. So we had to keep this community intact. And it was really a tug of war, because there were a lot of arbitraries. There were a lot of court injunctions, court cases that were being filed, and we had to be here and there. Arrests were going on here and there. The legal teams and the legal departments that we were having were not enough for that moment, that even us, we had to now stand in to support the community. So being a leader, it varies even in the area where you're being a leader, or the people you're trying to support, because you might find that in Uganda you have to support but also mentor new leaders, because it reaches a time and you start wearing out, you start burning out, you feel like you've done enough. So who are you going to live in? Are you going to leave the gap empty, or you need to stand in? You need to have someone that is going to take off that role. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Liz has just said I used to have a job like that. You had to always answer every call, every bleep, no matter what the time. So yeah, you're right. Leadership does look so different. And I've actually written down a beautiful quote from yourself there, Pius, which is leadership is a tapestry woven in different colors. And I think that's such a beautiful way to look at it. Thinking about your leadership style, how would you describe your leadership style in maybe 3 words?
In 3 words, I think I'll say my leadership style is resilient, loving, and caring.
And are those things that have always just come naturally to yourself? Is there maybe something that you've had to work on a little bit more?
Apparently, I've been working on my resilience, because I always get setbacks all the time. You find yourself that, I'll give an example, you do not have food at home. but you have to look for food for other people. You personally, you do not have food at your home, but you have to look for food for other people, and they will need the food because you might find some of them are suffering. They are already suffering mentally. Maybe someone is taking is on art treatment. They need to take their drugs. They need food, but you also don't have food, and then you have to painfully get that what you had to keep for yourself and give it to them, and then you sit back home and say, you know what, God will provide. You find yourself that you have to put yourself into a very risky state. For example, you have to go and support people who you've never met before, people who you do not know. You've stepped into police stations. I've been detained several times because of trying to advocate for the release of some people, and then they release them and instead detain me. But the resilience, I've been working on it because I reach a time and I feel like, no, I do not owe anyone. I just need to now live my life. But then when you're resilient, like I am right now, whatever happens teaches me to grow better. It teaches me to do better. It teaches me to become something better. And the more you go through those challenges, the more you become resilient, the more you adhere to all the challenges, you become stronger and better. And by the time you're now a strong leader, you're seen as a strong leader, you're ready, you're really, really strong. Nothing can shake you, nothing can push you away. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, that's really, really, I mean, that's inspirational. And the examples that you're giving are such strong examples of what it means to be a leader, but also to grow your resilience. And some of those things I can't even comprehend. I'd love to know about a challenge you're currently experiencing in relation to your own development.
Personally, if we are to speak to my own development, I'm one person who has set aside my personal development and upfronting the needs of my people, because I was called to serve in a community that is having very, very, very many challenges that I cannot exhaust as a person. So if I decide to concentrate on developing myself, I'll end up losing the pace. I'll end up losing the journey. So personally, I will speak to maybe my professional development, whereby I'm trying to build my capacity more in proposal writing, trying to attend conferences to speak to different people about what is going on in our country. But at the end of it all, whatever I'm trying to do, my professional development aims at improving the community that I'm serving as a leader.
Yeah, yeah. Has community something that's always been fundamental to who you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you think about your community, is that what gets you through the challenging times?
Yeah, apparently, the community that I'm serving and the community that is around me are the people that keep me. I normally tell the people that are so close to me that, the reason as to why I wake up every morning and sit on my laptop or do this and do that or speak to people or look for funding here and there is because I want to see a better community. I want to see a more resilient community. If I'm becoming resilient, I want this community to also become resilient, to add to to add just to the political climate, to to fight the injustices, to advocate for themselves. So I told them that the reason as to why I wake up is because I'm aiming for a strong and resilient community, and I can only achieve that if I wake up and show these people that we have to do this together. We are in this together. We are working this for our future generations. That if the future generation comes in, they'll have to say that, oh, Pius did advocacy, and that's why this is happening. So and so did this advocacy, and that's why we are here today, because the movement is growing. But as it is growing, also the challenges are becoming more antagonistic. They're becoming more volatile. They're becoming like the challenges are really, really getting worse because the anti-rights people are also trying hard to push us to the wall. But are we going to let them push us to the wall, or we have to fight back and make sure that we are off the wall? So yeah.
That's so powerful. And that I think that's felt all around the world right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. As a leader, who do you go to for support? Like, do you have a mentor? Is there someone that you lean on for advice and guidance and wisdom? And how comfortable do you feel in asking for help and support?
So apparently, one of the qualities of a good leader is that you have to be learning and willing to learn. So I'll not say that I have a mentor, but I learned from my forefathers, those who started advocacy before me. But I also learned from my community because these people are out there and they are looking at what I'm doing and they are always advising and they're like, "Hey, Pius, this is now beyond." I'll just tell you a story of a community member who I was speaking to, who was really depressed and was having kind of anxiety. And the funny bit was, as I was talking to him, this person also told me, "Hey, Paz, you need to see someone. You need to rest." And I asked him after some time, "Why are you saying so?" He said, "I'm seeing you're so exhausted. You're pushing it so much and it's killing you. It's killing you. You're dedicating so much to the community, but you need to take off some time and rest." And when I sat down and evaluated myself, I saw that, yes, I'm working each and every time I'm leaving this call, I'm joining this call, I'm writing this proposal, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm helping so and so, I'm trying to do some research in this and this place. You find yourself that you have no time for self-care, and you literally you could fix that time, but you're not even thinking of self-care. You're not thinking of yourself. You're finding yourself that you're going into a house and you're sleeping in a bed that you last laid a month back, but not that you want to sleep in a bed that you last laid in a month back, but because you're coming back and you're so exhausted, you're very tired, and tomorrow you have to pick from where you ended. So the community is one of the pillars that I always lean on, that these people are always there for me. Another funny story is I was supporting someone. I had got him. He had spent some time when he's having insecurities. But when I got him the money for relocation, this person told me, "Hey, Pass, I know I need money for relocation, but can you speak to the person who has given me this money? You use that money for a wellness break." And I asked him why, sis, and he said, "Pius, you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. My insecurities is the list of your problems, but we need you more than my insecurities. I can handle them. Please, can you talk to this person such that you use that money for self-care? Take off some time and rest." And surely, when I went to take off that time, I really came back strong and better.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we talk about it a lot in these spaces, right? Rest is resilience. So what does self-care and well-being look like for you as a leader? What do you do to practice self-care?
And personally, self-care is you take yourself a well-deserved break. You take a break off social media. You take a break off you reading your emails, writing proposals, and also receiving cases or any info that is coming from the community. You're just going to be all by yourself. If you've got a partner, it's going to be you and your partner, and having off some time like to just it's more of retreating and strategizing once again, to think and also evaluating yourself. How are you handling whatever you're doing? And by so doing, you're trying to give yourself self-care, but also you're trying to refuel to support the community better.
Yeah, yeah, so
Yeah.
so important. Just literally stopping. And I struggle with that as well, just stopping. Um, I'd love to ask about inclusion. What does inclusive leadership feel like for you? Or
Inclusive leadership.
what does it look and feel like?
Okay. So inclusive leadership is the type of leadership whereby you are going to support everyone regardless. Personally, for someone to be inclusive, it means you're willing and you're ready to support anyone with limited or no questions. At times we would love to support, but then the questions we ask alone make us lose what we would love to do. For example, I would love to support someone, and I'm going to ask him what is his ethnic group, where does he come from, for example, this person is a refugee. I'm asking about his origin. I'm asking about his story. Why did he leave? You're asking very many questions. And in the due course, you're now failing out as a leader because this person is looking out for you for support. And he needs support regardless of where he's coming from. The support he needs from you is all that has to matter for you right now. This person is looking for shelter, is looking for food. The questions will be, how have I gotten him food? How have I gotten him shelter? And so you're trying to be inclusive. You're trying to be considerate. You're not trying to do a background search on these people because, yes, you can know the community, but you cannot know the entire community because people are in the closets and people are getting out of the closet, staying there out. So if we start to act as people who need to faster analyze situations before we act. So an inclusive leader is one that is going to stand with limited questions. Someone who is going to do anything regardless. Someone is not going to look at any factor to do anything.
That's such an important call to action for inclusion is to just be there without questions. Yeah. Is there a lesson that you've learned along the way, perhaps the biggest lesson you've learned along the way when it comes to offering some practical takeaways or even some words of wisdom for those listening today?
Okay. Personally, I would want to tell people that if you're to become a leader, expect nothing.
Okay.
In fact, if you can expect the worst, do not look at leadership as something that you're going to sit back, you're going to sit in a white collar and be proud of. At times you can never be proud of your leadership role. And also, if another thing I would want to tell you, if you want to be a perfect leader, accept accountability and accept criticism, because it's what is going to make you grow better. As a leader, you have to be open-minded and welcoming each and everything that comes your way. In so doing, you're going to become a more resilient and better leader. You're going to become an approachable leader. Oh, I had forgotten that. If you are a leader out there, you have to be open. Personally, I no longer ask people who gave you my number. As
Okay.
long as someone comes to me, what do you want? How can I help? How can I be of help is my question that I always ask. And by the time I ask you, how did you get to me? At least we have moved 50% of the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pius, how can people get in touch with you, support your work, and stay up to date with what you're doing?
I think I would, I don't know, supporting my work. That is something that I would very much love to, and also getting in touch with me to still discuss because, on this call, I might find that there is someone who would want to mentor me, or to be mentored. So I would really appreciate that. You can reach out to me through my official email. That's programs@aquanet.org. And if you reach programs@aquanet.org, you will definitely reach out to me. And I would want to promise you that I'm one person who replies to my emails. Each and every email I get. For that, I vow to myself that I always reply to these emails. So you can reach out to me at programs@aquanet.org. And I would really, really appreciate that. Also, my LinkedIn, I use Pius Kennedy. So you can also inbox me.
Fantastic. Well, we'll share your details in the follow-up email, Pius, along with the recording. But thank you so much for taking part in today. We got through the tech issues. They're fantastic to speak to you. And yeah, thank you for your career leadership and the way you show up in the world. We really appreciate it.
Thank you too for having me, and I would very much want to thank you people for honoring me. I received that award, and people are very well. That is a souvenir for me. I added it even to my my email signature, so whoever sees it, they see me that I'm an awardee of the We Create Space, and people are really proud of me, and I'm really proud of We Create Space for recognizing the work that I'm doing. It really means a lot to me.